Richard Hell was a man known everywhere. CEO of a global real estate empire, owner of luxury jets, mansions, and everything money could buy. To the outside world, he had it all. But behind the walls of his massive estate, there was sorrow. His only son, Ethan, now 12 years old, had been born with cerebral palsy. The boy couldn't run with the other children, couldn't play soccer like his classmates, and struggled even to keep his balance when walking. Richard loved his son deeply, but secretly he also carried shame. Shame that his wealth and power could not fix his boy. Whenever they went out in public, he felt the stares, the whispers, the pity. And so, more often than not, he kept Ethan hidden away, protected from the world, and perhaps from Richard's own pride. One evening, Richard decided to take Ethan out for dinner at a quiet family restaurant in the city. They sat at a corner booth. Richard scrolled through his phone, sending emails, closing deals, while Ethan quietly watched the families around him. He saw children laughing, dancing near the jukebox, running between the tables. Then came Maya, their waitress. She was young, maybe in her 20s, working double shifts to support her younger siblings. Life had not been kind to her, but she carried herself with warmth and a smile that lit up the room. "Good evening," she said gently. "What can I get you tonight?" Richard ordered briskly, barely looking at her, but Ethan looked up at her with curious eyes. Maya noticed the boy's trembling hands, his slow speech, and she crouched down to his level. "And what about you, sweetheart? What would you like?" Ethan's face brightened. Most waiters didn't bother asking him. Spaghetti, he said slowly, the words heavy but clear. "That's my favorite too," Maya smiled. As the evening went on, a local band began playing in the restaurant. Couples stood up to dance. Ethan's eyes followed them, filled with longing. "Dad," he whispered, I want to dance." Richard froze. His heart ached. He knew Ethan couldn't keep up. He was terrified his son would stumble, fall, and people would laugh. He shook his head. "Not tonight, Ethan. Maybe later." Maya, overhearing, knelt beside Ethan. "Why not tonight?" she asked softly. "You don't need to dance perfectly. You just need to feel the music." Before Richard could object, Maya reached out her hand. "Would you like to dance with me?" Ethan's eyes widened. "Me?" "Yes, you," she smiled. Slowly, with trembling legs, Ethan stood. Maya held his hand firmly, guiding him to the open space in the middle of the restaurant. The band played a slow, gentle tune. At first, Ethan's steps were shaky. His body trembled, his feet unsure, but Maya whispered, "You lead, I'll follow." And for the first time in his life, Ethan wasn't being pitied, wasn't being held back. He was being allowed to lead. The restaurant grew silent. People watched as the disabled boy guided the young waitress in simple, halting steps. Some wiped away tears. Richard sat frozen, his phone slipping from his hand. He had never seen his son like this, so alive, so proud, so free. Ethan stumbled, but Maya steadied him without making it obvious. She moved with grace, letting him shine. By the end of the song, the entire restaurant erupted in applause. Ethan beamed with joy, his chest heaving with excitement. Richard's eyes filled with tears he had not shed in years. That night, Richard couldn't sleep. The image of his son dancing replayed over and over. He realized something painfully true. He had been ashamed not of Ethan's disability, but of his own inability to see his son's worth. The next morning, Richard made a decision. He visited Maya at the restaurant. "You don't know what you did last night," he said quietly. "You gave my son something I couldn't give him: confidence, freedom, dignity." Maya smiled. "All I did was dance with him. The rest was already inside him." Inspired, Richard began to change his life. He started spending less time in boardrooms and more time with Ethan, taking him to parks, encouraging him to try sports adapted for disabled children, introducing him proudly at public events instead of hiding him. But he didn't stop there. Richard used his billions to establish a foundation for children with disabilities, funding therapy, schools, and sports programs. And he asked Maya to join as the foundation's ambassador, using her natural gift for kindness to inspire others. Years passed. Ethan grew into a confident young man, no longer defined by his disability but by his courage.